The Solo Show is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com.
Emergency broadcast, if you can hear me!
We are not who we were when we started.
Imperial ships are already landing.
We need to speak out. We need to stand up.
Is there no one who can help us?
We need a pilot. A soldier.
Everything I did for the rebellion.
Revolutionary movements are spontaneously happening all over the galaxy. How those come together is the stuff of our story.
If season 1 laid the track, then season 2 is the juggernaut.
The Empire cannot win.
Well, they haven't won yet.
We're building a real army.
The rebellion's everywhere now.
Galaxy of opportunities.
The insurgents have weapons at this point.
We're counting on it.
These 12 episodes are going to take us over the next 4 years into Rogue One. The complexity of the show, the possibilities of the show. It has to be all in.
Nobody's allowed in here.
You're thinking like a thief.
I'm thinking like a soldier.
Think like a leader.
The size and scale of this production is unparalleled. The sets and the costumes are breathtaking.
Everyone does the homework. Everyone takes the time, and you can tell.
Proceed.
This is it. This is what you live for.
It's human, it's incredibly truthful, and it just happens to be in a galaxy far, far away.
Sagronna, everyone. Sagronna. And welcome to the Solo Show. We're doing Andor Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. 1 year later, Sagoma Tima and Harvest. Joining me today, I got from the Grand Cycle Tour podcast, Food Fairy Kris. Welcome. And did you rewatch Season 1?
Oh, I rewatched like every other episode to kind of get myself prepared. And I actually should have had Paul do it too, because he was like totally not remembering a bunch of stuff. So I'm sitting there trying to explain this stuff to him as we're watching. And he kind of got refreshed as I explained things. But you know that I love Andor, the character of Cassian Andor. I love Diego Luna. I think he's a fabulous actor. So I am just thrilled to death with this season 2.
Excellent. Also, Jedi Scott, how are you today, my friend? And did you rewatch Season 1?
I'm doing good. Actually, I only watched a couple episodes of it. Then I watched some YouTube breakdowns on the episode 1 season just to kind of refresh my memory a little bit. So
yeah, I needed to rewatch the whole season because I watch stuff and I forget 20 minutes later what I just watched. So that's my biggest problem when it comes to pretty much anything. Even we're going to do that. So the first little bit here, we're spoiler free. We're going to take a break. We'll hear from Victor, and then we're going to go into the spoiler section. There really isn't much to talk about spoiler free wise, I don't think. So let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with the spoilers.
Walt Disney once said, "If we can dream it, we can do it." If your dream is to live near Disney World, then you can do it, and I can help. Hi, I'm Realtor Victor Naraki, and I would appreciate the opportunity to make your dream a reality. I can help you decide which is best for you, a new construction home or pre-owned, based on your needs for size, neighborhood, and most importantly, your budget. How do I do that? Well, it's quite simple. I listen to what you want, and by using my experience as a realtor specializing in homes near Disney World for almost 15 years, I can find you the home you will love. Visit celebratingflorida.com and take your first step to making your dream a reality. I encourage you to create a free, no obligation account on my website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria. save listings, and browse new properties sent to you by email. Remember, if you can dream it, we can do it.
Remember that website, celebratingflorida.com. And when you meet Victor, be sure to tell him the Solo Show sent you.
And we're back. Okay, so we're in the spoiler section, so everybody's got a fair warning here. If you haven't listened or watched season 2, episodes 1, 2, and 3, this is your fair warning.
Yeah,
we're going to do it a little bit. Yeah, we're going to do it a little bit different this time round because there are 3 episodes dropping each week. It's basically an entire movie every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we were to go how we normally do it, like point by point, this would be a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah,
because
correct.
Yeah, because I like.
Yeah, but that being said, Stan, I like how they're doing this, the 3 episodes, and how each 3 episodes is a year. So there's not like really a giant cliffhanger. If anything, it's like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen in the following year on it. And all that.
So these 3 episodes happen over a weekend. I was under the impression that these 3 episodes are going to happen over a course of a year. Did you? Do you think that?
Pretty quick, I think.
Yeah,
the whole season is supposed to be a year.
Each 3 episodes is 1 year.
Oh, really?
So episode 4, 5, and 6, that takes place a year after episode 3.
Oh, wow. It doesn't seem like it would be that long, but
so there's
it wasn't that long. These events happen 4 years before the Battle of Yavin, and then episodes 4, 5, and 6 are going to happen 3 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Correct.
So I'm guessing there's stuff happening between 3 and 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we're not going to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
Or even
if anything, they might touch base a little bit on it, I would think. But, I think they had to probably do that because it was so... The way they talked about, the Gorman? The uprising and Gorman? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just jump right into... it'd be such a big thing trying to lead up to that. So there'll probably be some bits and pieces going involved talking about it, but it'll be going right into it. So do we think
that's what episodes 4, 5, and 6 are going to be about? The Empire destroying the planet Gorman by mining it to death?
That and the uprising they have in there to get them off the planet.
Yeah. So anyway, what I thought we'd do differently this time is we'll kind of go, instead of beat by beat, we'll just kind of go by location. I think it will make sense as we get going. So the first location we see is the test facility 73. And they have this prototype TIE interceptor there. And from what I understand, from what I could reckon, is Cassian Andor's job is to steal this TIE interceptor.
Yep.
And bring it to Luthen.
Yeah, he's charading as a test pilot for it.
Yeah. But this location isn't an Imperial run location. There's no Imperial logos anywhere. Like even Nina, she didn't have any Imperial patches on her shoulder or anything. It was a different logo. And it was great how we got her backstory just by a few bit of dialogue, I felt.
Yeah.
Like we knew that she's been there for a while. We knew that she isn't happy with the Empire. We knew that she wanted to do something to help the rebellion. So she works for the company but sides with the rebels. Meanwhile, she made a life for herself with this corporation that, makes these weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And she's risking everything to help the rebellion.
Yeah.
She sure is.
And we got that entire story just by a little bit of dialogue between her and Cassian, and then her and the other woman that comes to find out what's going on there.
Well, and I think that being said too, Cassian is being a big part of the rebellion now, and living it and breathing it, and trying to get her to relax. This is what you should do, and go with your feelings and all that.
Yeah, he was so kind to her. Just like, I understand, you're putting everything on the line to do this, and you have to realize that how important this really is. And he just she was a nervous wreck, and he totally set her at ease. And she says, I need a 12-minute head start, and he goes, is that enough? And she just gave him the nod, and it's like she was okay then to do this.
Yeah,
you're doing it for the cause.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm guessing Luthen found her somewhere. Is what I'm assuming, or one of his spies or something.
Right.
Is one that found her. That my impression is Andor's working directly for Luthen at this point.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And did we ever find out who ended up with all the money from season 1? That they stole all those credits. Does Luthen have that money? I guess so.
I think maybe Luthen or they're funding the rebellion with it, and it's being divided out to try to fund it, and get ships and ammunition or whatever.
Yeah, or in this case, get Cassian to steal a TIE Interceptor prototype. It was so funny how he gets into the cockpit of this thing, and there's no chairs, there's no controls. He's kind of like, what is this thing even like ready to fly? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I tell you what, that TIE Interceptor, man, that ship was pretty cool.
It was very cool.
All the weapons that it had on there and all that.
Yep.
And that was the thing. So when we see A New Hope, Darth Vader's ship was supposed to be a prototype type ship, and it didn't have those weapons or anything like that. Like it was kind of like that. Yeah.
I'm wondering with Cassian stealing the ship, if the development of it took a few steps back and prolonged it.
Yeah, probably because they didn't have the model to go build more, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought as well. So anyways, he thinks he can fly anything. He gets into this prototype and he swears. He uses an Earth swear. I don't think I've ever heard an actual Earth swear on Star Wars before.
Oh, I mean, that was
we'll see
funny.
you in hell, but yeah. And like Scott was saying, how this TIE Interceptor has this super laser on the bottom, even.
Yeah.
That he's able to use. So he basically steals it. There's a chase scene. He gets away. Anything else to talk about that, or should we move on to the next scene?
No, I'd say the next scene's pretty good.
Yeah. So the next scene that we see is the Mon Mothma estates. So we have Mon Mothma, her husband. I still don't know her name. Her daughter Lydia. Tay is there. Luthen is there. His assistant, Val, which I believe is Ma's niece, if I recall.
I think
from season 1.
A cousin.
Or cousin?
Yes.
Okay. There's an assortment of senators there, and they're all there for the wedding for Mothma's daughter to that gangster's son.
Yeah.
I guess their weddings are 3 days long.
Yep.
Big celebration.
And it seems like it's a special kind of a wedding versus just a, kind of like your average everyday wedding. I don't think all of them go into that big, huge celebration kind of thing. They made a big deal out of saying that the last time that was done was when Mon herself got married. So this is not a normal everyday wedding.
Well, I think that's because this is like the old ways of doing things. This is like the traditional way. Like her daughter was very much into doing this. I mean, Mon Mothma and Val don't agree with this style of wedding where you're betrothed upon somebody and they have the whole braid ceremony and you're basically now in servitude to the husband. They don't agree with this type of marriage.
Well,
this is more the traditional.
And as we come to find out that Mon's trying to talk her daughter out of it.
Yep.
Because this is what her mom did to her, but her mom was drunk, and and that was pretty a stab in the back for her daughter to tell Mon, I wish you were drunk.
Yeah.
You'd be less resistant to this wedding. Tay has something pressing to tell Mon. It takes him forever to get it out, and it's not until like the season 3 or the third episode that he finally spits it out what's going on. He says he has a secret, and then Luthen says something about he says, you can tell me I can keep secrets or something like that. And and then I like where Moth is about Luthen. He's terrible at keeping secrets. The guy he's awesome at keeping secrets. Like nobody knows he's part of the rebellion at all. And even I love how Luthen was kind of like there were some like Imperial people there, like of the Imperial Navy, and Luthen's kind of getting information from them. It's just a little bit scene when he says, "Oh, where are you guys stationed now?" And we're at where are you guys going next? That's so interesting.
Now was it Mon's daughter? Is that who she was marrying? Like an Imperial officer?
No,
he was like a gangster.
The father-in-law is
a gangster and all that. But I thought maybe the son was going to be in the Imperial. Navy or something.
I didn't get that impression at all.
No,
but there was a lot of
I didn't
senators there and a lot of bigwigs, including imperial bigwigs.
All right.
Were there as well. So Luthen and his assistant are getting kind of worried because they haven't heard from Cassian or Porco, because Cassian stole the ship and it's supposed to deliver it to Porco on Yavin, and they haven't heard from either one of them. So they're starting to get kind of worried, you know. We find out something is up with Tay. Him and his wife are now separated. They're living apart. And he says he has some investments go sour and he's upset about money. And now he's involved in this rebel movement. And he says, everybody's happy. He says, but I'm not getting my end of the bargain, he's saying. He wants to talk to Mon about the Foundation. I'm kind of getting the impression that he might be turning her in at some point here, because he's getting kind of...
That's what I gathered out of it, that, you know what, I'll give some information to the Empire to get some money back, recruit my losses, so to speak. Yeah, he's wondering where his piece of the pie is. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't understand the scene where Lydia is upset because the son, the boy she's supposed to marry, won't hold her hand. It felt like she wanted to call the wedding off. And so, but then the next day she's fine. Yeah. Like everything is good. Like, did that make sense to anybody? Yeah, I think she was just having a rejection moment. The kid is younger than her. It's very evident. So he's very... No, he's older. He's a year older. He's older. Well, he doesn't act like it. He acts like he's 4 years younger than her. Well, yeah, and I think I agree with Kris. I think to begin with, they're both young. Yep. And their expectations are kind of different from each other's, and you know, it wasn't like they fell in love with each other. They were pretty much told, hey, you guys are going to marry each other. You know, arranged marriage and this and that. So he's 15 and she's 14 at this point. Yeah, which is really last year, young. Yeah. Yeah, well, way too young to be getting married. Yeah, because last season the gangster guy, I can't remember his name, he said that my son is 14 and your daughter is going to be 13 soon. You know, we should start thinking about maybe finding, you know, spouses for them. I mean, that's how old they are when they get married on that planet. Yeah, maybe. So that's day one of the wedding get together, was her showing off the dress to her friends and all that and being worried. And then day two, they take a walk up this mountain, and that's part of the wedding ceremony of the tradition. And she says, "What do we do when we get up there?" And she goes, "Well, we just look at the view, and then some children sing." Yeah, what enjoy a good the scenery. Yeah, I think if anything, that scene was more about Val and Mon talking and asking Val about what's the girl's name? Val's girlfriend's name. What was her name? Cinta. Oh, Cinta, yeah. Just Cinta. Asking about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Tay once again brings up about, well, my investments have gone sour because of rebel activities. That's why my investments aren't doing well, because the rebels are destroying the stuff I'm investing in. Yeah. He's wondering if he should be in this game. Yeah, and he has a big mouth at that point. He's talking quite a bit. Eventually, someone's going to hear it, and I think that's what Luthen's concerned with. Well, that's it. And then Luthen says, "Well, have him give you a number." Is he talking about a price when he says a number? Yeah, I'm kind of confused about this. Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Yeah, the only thing I could think of is like have him give you a number, like does he want 1 million credits to shut up? Is that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the only number I could think of. Like, what's the number? What number does he want, or what's the number? Paul kept asking me, why does he keep asking about a number? What's he talking about? Yeah, it has to be like hush money. Yeah. No, you're probably right. Trying to buy him off. Yeah. And Mon Mothma's husband does that speech after they get back from the mountain. And he did. I really liked how they did that whole wedding scene. They created a whole new, like we'd never seen this in Star Wars, like where somebody got married and all the traditions that was involved with it. They created a new language with the Sorga Tima Solom. Like it was really neat. I thought it was so well done. No, yeah, with all the pomp and circumstance and everything involved in it, was pretty. Yeah, it was neat. Yeah. So then the third day they actually have the wedding ceremony. The father gives the groom a knife and tells him, "You do with it as you wish." Yeah, I thought that was kind of. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. I was like, no, you tell her to cut the braid off, and that you leave it at that. Yeah. You don't tell them to do what you want to do with it.
Yeah. Do with her as you wish. Here's my best knife. It's really sharp.
Yeah.
It's your problem now.
Yeah. So he cuts off the braid, and now they're married.
Yeah.
There was a whole ceremony too where she had to step over the branch.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did that little dance, and everything's very circular. In this place. And then, so I think the gangster's name was Stickan. So anyways, he presents them with a gift, which was the reason why Luthen was there, because he's the one that found the gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Chandel Morel, a temple figure. It's one of 12 that was stolen 25,000 years ago when Chandela was sacked by the Rakan invaders. What I thought was interesting was the 25,000 years ago is one of the movies that they're working on.
Really?
Yeah, it's right before the Jedi Order, like right in the beginning of it.
So is this going to be part of the movie plot? Because it seems so coincidental that 25,000 years ago is the exact same number that they're making the next movie. And so is that what the next movie is going to be about? Chandrella be getting ransacked by these invaders.
Yeah.
And those that species is they're dark sensitive. They have the dark force in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could see that kind of. Do we think that might be the next movie?
Well, they talked about it. I don't know if it'll be one of the next ones, but I'm sure it's something down the line as long as it doesn't get voided out.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be the next one. The next one is Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah.
What's the other one that they talked about at Celebration?
Is it Starfighter?
Yeah, standalone.
Yeah, Starfighter.
Yeah, that's going to be like a standalone. But I think the one after that is going to be.
I think that would be a good movie. To go way back in the past, and how the Jedi.
It worked so well with Acolyte.
It wasn't far enough back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was only 100.
So then the wedding turns into a party. Mothma has a few drinks and she dances like nobody's watching.
Oh boy.
Well, I think she realized the literally is going to hit the fan coming up.
Yeah.
She knows it's going to get messy.
So Tay leaves the party and he's driven away by Cinta, who of course we know from season 1. She's the one that the rebellion comes before anything else. I'm assuming she was called in by Luthen to be his driver, and I don't think we're going to see Tay again.
I'm thinking that she was hired to off him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't think Tay would stand a chance against her.
Well, then seeing Val's face, I think she was upset that she was there and not seeing her, but I think also she knows that he's done, that he's going to be gone.
Yeah. I think that's Tay's done. I don't think we'll see him.
Tay's days are numbered.
Tay's days are numbered. There you go. So the next kind of area we see is Yavin 4. So Andor has that prototype ship he stole earlier, and he's looking for Porco. Do we know who Porco is?
No, I don't think so.
Was he one of the guys that was on the ship that left after his mother's funeral when they all took off? Was he one of the guys that was on there or no?
No, that was Brasco.
Brasso, right? Yeah. And Vix and the younger boy, I can't think of his name. But I thought that there was another lady that was on there and possibly another body. I don't think I ever actually saw a face. So
there's a few of them that escaped. Mm-hmm. So anyways, he's supposed to deliver, and Cassian's ship is there. It's worse for wear. Like there's a branch smashed through the window and whatnot.
It's a mess.
It's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
No.
And he was just there 3 days ago. He said, I was just here 3 days ago. He says, you guys weren't here. And he discovers these lost boys, basically, for lack of a better term. And they take Cass as their prisoner. So Andor ship.
Where they came from, though? Where did those guys come from? Just all of a sudden they're
that's
there?
the thing I don't know who these guys were. Well, we know who they are. They're from Maya Paya.
Yeah, they're like another rebel faction,
Yeah.
And
it's very disorganized, obviously.
Yeah, and I think something happened where they had maybe crash land there or do something, and now that their little fraction group is starting to go separate ways, and they think they're stranded there. and they're fighting amongst each other.
Saw mentioned them in season 1 when he was naming off all these different rebel sanctions, and he says, "My Apollo Brigade," he said, like, they're disorganized. I'm the only one that's organized. I'm the only one with
Well, clearly
all
he knows
these other
something.
rebel factions are. Yeah.
This was one of the things that I didn't like about these 3 episodes. I didn't like how Cassian was essentially there for almost 3 episodes, and I was like, come on, guys, time to move on a little bit. I felt like he was there a little bit too long.
And for some reason, they split up into 2 groups, and one group's in the crashed Andor ship, and the other group is at the prototype ship. And it was just kind of silly, almost. They asked Cass who he's with, but he says he isn't telling him who he's with at this point. Like, could he not just, is like Luthen wants to be kept that much of a secret that he doesn't want to tell him that he's part of Luthen's group? So. Why couldn't he say he was part of Saw's group or something?
Yeah.
No,
well, maybe they would have killed him if they heard that, though, Yeah,
I think he needs to keep Luthen's name out at all costs.
That's what it feels like, yeah. So the guys at the Interceptor are trying to move it to point the guns at the ship to kill them all. Unfortunately, it would also kill Cassian, the only one that knows how to fly the ship. They just don't seem to think anything through.
Don't think.
No, they're very unorganized.
Yeah. So they decide to drop a challenge, and they're going to meet without weapons, and they pick their second, and they're going to have this big, like a traditional challenge, and they basically play rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. I don't know.
I thought that was weird. It was something that was different. That's for sure.
Yeah. It was kind of, I don't know. It was kind of fun. And the thing is, though, so if they won, and it's going to be total submission, Roski rules, what do they get if they win? Because they're still going to be stranded on this planet together.
Yep.
I didn't understand what they were battling for, even. Like, okay, our side won. Well, what?
Give us Cassian so we could get him off the planet? I don't know. Is that what they're trying to achieve?
Why couldn't they just get, like, there's 2 seats in that Italian Interceptor. Cassian could have went and taken one guy from one side, one guy from the other side, dropped them off somewhere. They could have got ships themselves and come back to Yavin 4 and rescue the rest of their group.
Agreed. I think that was the point why you seen them separated. They don't trust each other that much, so they couldn't agree upon that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I can see someone's joining us in the group here. We're going to walk up to the show, Patrick,
with unfashionably late. Yeah, sorry guys.
Anyways, good night, everybody. Drive safe.
Something popped up and care of immediately. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Patrick arrived. He's a little bit late. We're just on the part now where we're talking about the Yavin 4 and the Lost Boys is what we're talking about right now.
A little bit of Lord of the Flies.
So they what's that?
A little bit of Lord of the Flies, huh?
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah. I think we all agree that this went on too long and most of it didn't make sense.
Some of it was silly.
Yeah. So they're playing rock, paper, lizard, Spock, and Cassian figures, well, this is a good time to escape while they're distracted. And he because it's his ship, he kind of knows where stuff is, and he gets the hidden blaster, and he grabs a communication device, makes a run for it, and he gets onto the ship and basically takes off. Is this the last time we're going to see? How do you pronounce it? Is it the Maya Pai Brigade? Is this the last time we're going to see these guys? Are they just going to starve to death on this planet on Yavin?
I'm guessing we'll probably never see him again. Yeah, I think this was all just a way for us to see Yavin 4. And see those powers.
Yeah. Because I think I think that big creature, he's not going to go hungry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The rhinoceros dinosaur.
Yeah,
he's got like 12 of them to eat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Star Wars podcasts, specifically Star Wars podcasts, they have a little section every now and then called the Big Stupid Star Wars Monster of the Episode. Because every episode of Mando has a big new monster or something like that. Mm-hmm. So this one was the rhinoceros, dinosaur thing.
Well, I did like the yak creature that's coming up in the next area where we talk about in the background. I like that one. But anyways, I got a feeling we're going to see these guys again because we know they're going to end up eventually back at Yavin 4. If these guys survive, they're still going to be there because they have no way of getting off.
Maybe these are some of the guys that in Rogue One all step up and volunteer to help out on the, you never know.
Could be, yeah.
Well, those we learned that later that those in episode 4, those pyramids actually have doors that you can house things in, right? They're not just a gigantic pyramid. That's where the
rebel base was at.
Yeah, they were in
the
those
rebel
pyramids.
base.
So maybe those guys find the pyramids and somehow survive.
Yeah. Scott kind of mentioned this already, but did we spend too much time with these guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Now, I guess the other question is, so do we think the show spent too much time? Did us as a group spend like a roundtable discussion spend too much time with these guys? Is it time to move on?
Yes.
I just came in, so I mean, I could do a little bit more, but yeah.
Yeah. I think we spent too much time with these guys. Let's move on. So the next scene we kind of see is Cassian in space. He gets away with the TIE Interceptor. He escaped from the Maya Paya Brigade, if that's how you pronounce it. And he's in the middle of space trying to contact Luthen. And so he's hot wiring that communication device that he takes off the ship, and that for some reason puts it into hyperdrive or something, and it takes off.
Spin, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I like how I've been upside down for 2 days. I think he's exaggerating because I think all 3 episodes is only 3 days. So Luthen's assistant leaves the wedding party, and so she goes to. She says, I need better communication devices. I need to contact somebody because we haven't heard from anyone. So she goes back to the store, and he's able to contact her and finds out why nobody can contact anyone, because she tells Cassian that the communication blockade on the wheat planet, was it Maya Rau, the Outer Rim? There's been a communication blockade, and so Cassian takes off to make sure that they're okay, And of course, we know from episode 1 a communication blockade can only mean one thing.
Yeah, ready for invasion.
Yep.
Yeah, episode 2. So let's talk about the next planet that we come across, and that's the Maya Rau. Is that how you pronounce it? Maya Rau Outer Rim planet?
Mina Rau,
That's what,
maybe? I don't know.
Mina Rau, yeah, something like that.
Mina Rau, Outer Rim planet. So on this planet, we have Bix, B2 EMO, Barrasso, who we, of course, met in season 1, Talia, Willem, and they're all living in this pod-type home. It reminds me a lot of the House of the Future that used to be in Disneyland.
It does. I thought of that exact same thing when I saw that shape.
Yeah.
Until they put the planet name up, I was convinced that this was the same planet from Rebels.
Yes.
I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, I know what you're
I thought the
talking
same
about.
thing, though.
Was it Lothal?
Yeah. Lothal, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
As soon as you get in front of a camera and turn the microphone on, everything just goes out your head.
So they're basically hiding out here, I guess, after the events that happened on Scarif, and they're playing the parts of mechanics, fixing farm equipment. Is that what everybody else kind of gathered?
Yeah. Trying to lay low, doing jobs whenever they can to actually contribute as best they can, but then secretly also supporting Cassian.
Yeah.
Because everybody around them directly knows who Cassian is, it seems like.
Yeah. So Will, he made friendly with a local girl. Of course, that's going to turn out not too good later. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, the Imperials show up to do a supply census. Is this something that they just randomly do, and that it's just bad luck, or did they suspect someone's on this planet?
No, I just think it was just bad timing.
Yeah, so they're checking to make sure everybody has visas, kind of like the USA Border Patrol. When the Canadians visit. So one of the Imperial lieutenants starts to hit on Bix. She says, "My husband's not going to like it if I go out with you." And is she and her and Cassian married now, or was she lying when she said?
No, I just think she was lying.
Yeah,
that's my best guess too. Yeah.
So Bix, Brasso, and Will decide it's best to get off the planet before they're discovered, and they plan to leave B2 with Talia. Is the plan? I did not quite understand why they would leave B2 behind, because he's been kind of
maybe they know Cassian to find him when he comes back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what they said, is that they needed B2 to be there for when Cassian comes back.
Yeah, because there's no way in the world Talia could tell them that they left. They needed B2 for that. So Will is out saying goodbye to the local girl, which he's fond of, when the group of troopers come around, and his speeder bike, they're out in the middle of the field, and his speeder bike is in front of the store or the restaurant or whatever it is. So he makes a run for it. He's running through the field. Barrasso realizes that they're there and Will's there, so he takes off in his speeder bike to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lieutenant decides to go pay another visit with Bix. So Bix is home alone because Will was running.
It was a bad decision.
Yeah. So Will's running back to the homestead. Barrasso's heading the other direction with his bike, and the Imperial officer is alone with Bix. She takes care of him.
She sure did.
Yeah.
Well, let's also add that she didn't just take care of him for no good reason.
Right.
He tried to assault her.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was trying to rape her.
Yeah.
Right, well, I was trying not to use the word, but yeah. And I know that Tony Gilroy has come out and said it was very important. He wanted to leave that in specifically. He wanted to leave that part in.
Exactly. Well, good. That's good.
Just to show that this is the Empire. This is how they are.
Mm-hmm.
They go and rape and pillage towns and cities and do whatever they want to do. So essentially paint the picture, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point. That's actually a really good point. So then Cass arrives at the planet with his TIE interceptor, and I like how the stormtroopers are like, "Hey, who ordered that? Call them in. We don't need.
We don't need that."
So Cassian arrives at the scene and takes out the Imperial transport. Barrasso tries to make a run for it, and Cass shoots the grain silo and kills a bunch of stormtroopers. Meanwhile, one of the stormtroopers actually hit something. Unfortunately, it was one of the nicest guys in the entire Star Wars universe who the stormtrooper finally hits, eh?
He will go down. We're talking about Brazo, right?
Yes.
But he will go down in Star Wars as a legend. He smashed a stormtrooper in the face with a brick, and no one can ever take that away from him. So,
a brick made from ashes of his friend.
Yes.
But I really like Brasso. I think he was one of the nicest, kindest-hearted people in all of the Star Wars universe that we've ever came across.
Yeah.
Well, as we found out, as one of the few stormtroopers that knew how to shoot and to hit his target.
Yeah. Well, you would think after 100,000 shots, he'd eventually hit something.
Something.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was him.
With Brazo's death at the end of that third episode, I had a really bad theory pop into my head that each of these people that Cassian took from the finale planet. I can't remember the name of it off the the finale
Ferrix.
from season 1. Yeah, Ferrix. Each person that he took from Ferrix that's still with him. We know that none of them are around in Rogue One.
Yeah,
they're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe each of these arcs is how we lose them and how it changes Cassian and motivates him to move into Rogue One.
You know what? I kind of had the exact same thought, but I never thought of it that each arc would be. So we have Will and Bix left.
Mm-hmm.
Who dies next week?
Well, and B2. And B2.
Well, B2 is kind of already staying on the planet now. I don't know if they'll go back for B2.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, Will, Bix, and Cass take off in the TIE Interceptor, and that's the last we kind of see of them in this 3 episodes.
Does anybody feel bad for the robot?
Yeah, I was hoping.
waiting for Cassian to come back, and he didn't even get to see him, and now he's there with that lady. So I felt bad. I mean, I know that sounds silly to feel bad for a robot, but
no, it makes sense. That's what they're made for. They're meant to be sentimental characters like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, his name being B2 Emo is just so perfect because he's such an emo kid stuck in a droid body.
Yeah.
And like Brasso said, like, she's a lot nicer than I am, and she's a lot prettier than I am. So you'll do fine. You'll be fine. The next kind of planet that we're going by areas is the Malathan Divide, and that's where the top-ranked Imperial officers all get together, and they got this secret project. Deidre's there, Director Krennic is there, and they show a movie on a movie projector. I don't think I've ever seen a movie projector. We've seen holograms before, projectors, but have we ever seen like a 1970s, 60s movie projector before?
No, this was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was old school.
It was really weird.
It almost reminded me of like Fallout. Just that whole sort of honky-dory sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It very much did. Or even what was the one with Loki?
The welcome to the TBA video.
It was kind of, it didn't feel, it felt out of place to me. I was expecting it almost like when he paused it, like for the film to burn. Get that, and the bulb was too bright for the film in one spot. Anyways, we saw a film projector. So the Empire wants to take over Gorman, and they want to mine the rare mineral that's there. They need it, I'm assuming, for the Death Star. So to do this, they're either going to have to kill or relocate thousands of Gora, the people that live on Gorman. And they're trying to come up with the best solution to do this. And I guess the solution they come up with is to have a rebellion go wrong or do something that's, I'm not sure how this gets them to relocate.
No, it doesn't get them.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't get them to relocate. Essentially, the way that I'm reading it is it's actually pretty insidious, and I don't know.
Oh, so we'll put the blame on the rebellion,
right?
Yeah, to have the Empire start murdering them all.
You know what crossed my mind when she said you need to find somebody who will do the wrong thing? I thought of the Lost Boys.
Well, you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking Saw Gerrera, because we said when we did our pre-recording, are we going to find out what Saw Gerrera did that is so bad that the rebellion doesn't want to have any part of him?
That could be.
He's so radical. Are they going to do something, pin it on Saw, or tell Saw that this is almost like a nuclear bomb, these Goran cities, and Saw's the one that gets blamed for it or actually does it.
Yeah, they're going to try to pin him for it.
Yeah. Or the Empire could also just essentially plant. This was another idea I had was, so later, I mean, we haven't gotten to this. I don't know if we've gotten to this location because I showed up late. Sorry. But Deidre is with Cyril, right?
You haven't gotten there yet, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. But this kind of gets into it of like, does she actually like him, or is he going to be the person that is unwillingly planted on Gorman to be that bad rebellion? And and like be a plant of like, oh, I'm with the rebellion, and then start doing things that are really bad and hurting the people of Gore, and then they turn to the Empire. The Empire comes in, welcomed, and then they just start taking whatever they want. But they didn't have to fight in order to get there.
I know. I'm pretty convinced you're correct that she's going to use them in the end. She's going to totally use and abuse them to her and the Imperial way of doing things. I completely agree with you on that for sure.
So, but I love the idea. Oh, I love that they gave us this problem of, we need this thing that nobody really knows about this planet that they have, and we have to find the most insidious way to get it from them without a fight, because we don't want to fight.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want to have bad publicity. We even got our publicity people working on helping us spin something to make it look like we're doing the right thing.
Right.
So that's gonna be interesting. I think that's a really interesting storyline. I hope that happens a year from now, which would be next week, or the next 3 episodes. So then, kind of like the final. I'm not sure what planet it is, but they never put it on the screen. But the Bureau of Standards is there, and this is where Cyril and Deidre are shacking up together in Deidre's apartment. Scott didn't like the scene. It's on Coruscant. Is that where we are? Okay, I wasn't 100% sure if it was Coruscant or a different place. So Cyril's still working at the Bureau of Standards, but he has gotten a promotion. Now he's the one showing the new recruits around. He's moving up in the in the company. And we get to see Deidre's apartment. She's looking out the window and Cyril shows up and they're a couple now, which like Patrick, you're shaking your head. You're not sure.
Like,
you think they're a couple because she's using him?
Well, it's like, I mean, if they are an actual, if they are in a mutual relationship with any love whatsoever or even affection, it doesn't show.
No,
like that doesn't show at all. It's very business, very awkward. Like we're talking about them in the apartment. I'll just jump to it. When Cyril's mom shows up, right before she shows up, Cyril is facing away from the door and Deidre is facing towards the door. They're not looking at each other. They're standing next to each other and they're both just staring in silence. It's so awkward.
But you know what? That's just the way those two people are. And sometimes people that are like that, it works for them. It wouldn't work for
it's so sterile.
90% of us, but that's just the way that's the way their personalities are. So who knows? Maybe there is some kind of
the relationship.
They just don't show it.
That was the type of relationship Cyril had with his mom.
Yeah.
Where they just sat in silence together.
Well, but anytime he tried to talk with her. Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
When Deidre never really had any relationship because she was brought up as the Imperials brought her up in the kindercot or whatever they called it.
Right. Well, Cyril sat in silence with his mom because anytime he tried to say something, his mom would just be disparaging towards him.
Right.
And so he just didn't talk. Which you want to get to that next interaction.
Well, hang on. What's funny though is so. I just came from Star Wars Celebration and I went to the Rogue One panel. So the two actors were more lovey-dovey on the stage together. They were kind of like holding hands and kind of like rubbing their shoulders against each other. And they were kind of saying, well, are we a couple on the show? Should we say if we are or not? And they were really acting up like they were a couple on the show. And I'm sitting in the audience and I'm thinking to myself, like, Dave Filoni would not be happy the way these two are letting everybody know that they're a couple on the show, but they're basically saying it without saying it. And then they showed us the episode right away. So it wasn't really a big spoiler that they were a couple, but we kind of found out ahead of time of watching it when we saw the episode. By the way, the audio was horrible when we watched the episode at Celebration. There was some kind of echo in that theater, so I couldn't understand half of what they were saying. It was really bad, and they had subtitles, but the subtitles were in Japanese, so that didn't help either. So, the Japanese people could understand what was going on, but nobody else could. Everyone else is kind of, can you hear what they're saying?
Maybe they did that on purpose, Stan, so you really wouldn't know for sure what the dialogue was until you watched it.
Well, we got the story. We got the whole story. Like we got to see everything going on, and you can kind of make out, but if they were talking fast, you couldn't hear. You couldn't understand what they were saying. At any point. So Deidre and Cyril are making dinner, and I noticed right away that he has 3 plates out, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I sure hope the mom's coming over.
Yeah.
And there she was.
And so Edie comes over. You could just call me Edie. You don't look like I thought you would look like.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand that person.
She's like the perfect mother-in-law.
Oh, but to be fair, she is a fantastic actress.
She is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she is.
I mean, for those who I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was in Harry Potter and I want to say Order of the Phoenix. She was the witness who helped Harry out of his little bind.
With the Death Eaters.
Yeah, or with the Dementors.
Yeah, the Dementors. Yeah.
And then one of the things I saw her most recently in was the Macbeth, where she was the 3 witches. She was all 3 of the witches.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
And that's a version of Macbeth with Denzel Washington playing Macbeth. So it's actually really fun if you ever get to see it. It's on Apple TV, I believe. Or Apple TV.
Cool.
So,
Scott, why don't you tell us what your thoughts on the mother-in-law?
I I had to fast forward through that interaction with those three. It was just cringy. I couldn't stand it. I fast forward through it and I moved on. I caught the tail end of their conversation and I was like, good, I didn't have to witness this.
It was really satisfying.
Yeah.
It was really go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so Scott, so you missed her dripping the fondue cheese all over the table and smooshing up her dessert.
Mother, you're dripping.
I couldn't handle it. It was like nails on a chalkboard right there.
But I love how Deidre gave it to her. You know, she laid down the rules, man. She said, I am not going to put up with this, so you better straighten out or you're out of here.
Scott, did you go back and at least watch that 30 seconds?
I caught the part where Deidre went off on her.
Okay, good.
Then
there's no food involved
laying
with that
on the bed and come back up.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
She lays the ground rules, basically saying all of them have him call you 3 times a week, and he'll come visit you once a month. And this is all pertaining to how well you behave, because this is negotiable about if it's going to be that often or not.
Yeah.
I went back and listened again, and she says, and all of this is on the is inversely proportional to the amount of anxiety and stress you put in our lives.
There you go. Yeah, it was awesome. I just loved it so much. But anyways, we're going to wrap this up soon. So next week, we're going to be a year ahead, 3 years before the Battle of Yavin, whereas these 3 episodes happened 4 years before the Battle of Yavin. Where are we going to be? I guess we have no clue, because a lot can happen in a year.
Yeah.
Do we see the Gorman massacre? Does this happen on these next 3 episodes?
I
think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. Yeah. And they teased us with meeting K2SO. I'd really love to meet K2 sometime in the middle third of the series and not wait until the end of he just showed up and then dies in Rogue One an hour later.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they get him and reprogram and that backstory on that.
Mm-hmm.
Weird enough. Have you guys played any of the Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor games?
No.
If you damage a droid to a certain point, you can then send your little droid to go and scomp in and turn it to help you. And if it's late enough in a fight, if it's the last thing left, you can do that, and then it'll follow you around and help you. So what I'm wondering is is it something like that where Cassian is oh gosh, and he just plugs it in, and it turns out oh, you're my best friend. Okay, cool. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just thinking those things can be hacked through their stomp links,
which kind of makes me wonder why don't they hack a whole bunch of them instead of just the one if it's that easy?
Yeah.
It might not be that easy, so we'll see.
It can't. Please don't make it that easy. Please don't make it that. He's got to take out one chip and put in another chip, and now he's our buddy. Because it's got to be more to it than that.
Yeah.
All righty. This was a lot of fun. We'll see you in about a week, and we're going to do 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
we'll be halfway done.
Sorry for showing up late, guys. Sorry.
Oh, better late than never.
When you go back and listen to this, you'll hear all the bad things we said about you for not showing up.
I know. I missed the entire bit about the Chandrillan wedding, and I went off about it in our chat.
Yeah. Did you want to quickly say what you wanted to say about the wedding?
Sure. So, as a Japanese history and culture nerd, it was so much fun to watch that wedding scene, to see the architecture, which I think there was an article on StarWars.com about the Japanese and Scandinavian minimalist architecture. And then the men's wedding outfits had this folded up fabric behind their heads and wrapped with cord. And that's almost identical to Japanese aristocracy headwear. back in the 13 to 1600s. So it was really cool to watch. And as a Star Wars nerd and a Japanese history and culture nerd, seeing those two things like butt heads in Star Wars, where it all sort of like stemmed my love of both of them, right? It's like I like Star Wars and I started loving Japanese culture because Star Wars was inspired by Japan. Anyway, it was really fun. I could not watch that scene enough.
Yeah, it was
cool.
very cool.
It was definitely cool.
Yep.
Alrighty, Ken, take it over.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us about your idea for a show and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. Don't forget to join us on YouTube, like us and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll never miss a new show. All logos, songs, music, and sounds that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be owned by the Solo Show podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.